Roddus back again. Video time, let's try and get a bit more comfortable here. Right, okay, what's going on? Big box of records arrived yesterday. Seems to be that the older I get, the weirder the music is I like to listen to. Kind of, I mean, you all know that I have been getting into the Kiwi, New Zealand experimental, drony, weird music scene, underground music scene. As a matter of fact, I've got a bunch of records on the way from the States, which probably should be here tomorrow. But I haven't been looking at much outside of New Zealand. So on Trade Me, a sale came up on Trade Me, or a trade came up on Trade Me from one of our New Zealand musicians, who I've got a couple of his records, and he was selling a whole bunch of stuff for, basically he said it was double ups of stuff that he already had or whatever. I mean, yeah, whatever his excuses for selling the stuff, that's fine with me. And he had basically a 5 record set plus another 10 records up for sale on Trade Me, and so I put a bid in for it. I'd never heard of most of the stuff on it apart from one, which I'll show you in a minute, and actually it's what's playing in the background, I know. The rest of the stuff I had no idea what it was. I did a wee bit of research, I think I've mentioned this before, I don't like to go and have a listen to whole records on the internet just to see if I like it or not. I like to have a quick sample of things and say, yes, that sounds interesting, I will buy it if I can afford it, or if it's worth buying, whatever. And I like the excitement of getting a whole bunch of records home and not knowing what I'm getting into, in a manner of speaking. But I mean, obviously this stuff was listed as experimental music. Apart from one, I really did not know what any of them were. I got the box yesterday. I got them for a really good price. No one else bid on them. So yeah, I got 15 records for a really good price. And I've been looking up on Discogs. I mean, they're not stuff that sell for much. The sort of music you can buy pretty cheap. I mean, even the New Zealand stuff that I'm buying in from Discogs overseas, I can pick stuff up for $15 to $20 a record, which is a lot less than what I'd be paying in the shops if it was in the shelves. But this stuff just doesn't turn up in the shops here, really. But anyway, so prattling on. So anyway, I won the auction. I got 15 records. One of them is a five record set, and the rest of them are individual records. I've made some notes because I really don't know bugger all about them. But first of all, the one that I do know a little bit about it is this one here, which is playing in the background. Project for a Revolution in New York, and this is Bruce Russell, who is one of our local men from the Dead Sea. I've mentioned Bruce many times. This was released on Stilt Breeze, and I didn't write down what year it was released, but it was recorded back in 1997 in Christchurch, Littleton, and somewhere else, Waikato Industrial Park in New Zealand. Anyway, yeah, this is what's playing behind me. Bruce is just like full-on drony, weird sort of noise stuff. So from the man from the Dead Sea. So that was one LP. Now, so these are quite a lot of these are quite limited, private releases or whatever. This one here, so this is Magated, and I didn't write down the name of the record. Magated. See if I can find that. Mercury Sculling, it's called. Magated Pete Swanson and Robert Mason. Now, I did a wee bit of research on Discogs, and those two men have been in a lot of other bands. So this is Drone. This is a single-sided limited edition, 100 copies on Tonics Records out of the USA. It is the only vinyl release from these two guys, although they do have a couple of CDRs out, I think, from 2007. And yeah, the two men were involved in a lot of other projects, I believe, from what I can see on Discog. So yeah, I played this one yesterday, and yes, it is a nice drone. I quite enjoyed it. Bit like what's going on in the background here, but a bit different. So yeah, not familiar with any of these, believe me, until now. This next one is actually my favourite of what I've heard so far. Solid Eye. Live at Anomalous Records in 1994. Solid Eye are a 4-piece. Now, I understand 2 of the members of this band had connections with Steaming Coils and Brad Lehner back in the day. They were on one of the albums that Steaming Coils did. I'm aware of Steaming Coils. I haven't ever heard any of their music or bought any of their music, but one day I would like to. Yeah, this is 2... So, 1 piece each side, weird electronic sounds. I mean, this is really good. I like this one a lot. This is very mutant. Quite cool cover too. Yeah, this was actually released in 1997, and that's about all I can tell you. But they, I'm just trying to think. Did they have what their Discogs listing was like? Whether they had a few, I think there was quite a few releases out from these guys. I think they did quite a bit together. Okay. The next one is from a guy called Alexander Rishag, and this is it here. And ma.org and pa.git is the name of the record on Chronica Records. This is a limited edition of 200 from 2015. Alexander is a Norwegian, and this is another drone record. And again, I quite enjoyed it on first listen. Next one is a split LP, A Middle Sex and Temperatures. Now, I believe these guys are both from the UK, these groups or whatever they are. This was limited to 300 copies from 2009, and I think both bands had other stuff out. I've only listened to the Middlesex side, and that was percussive, electronic, industrial tinged music. It was quite good. Yeah, I enjoyed that too. Been really good listening to this stuff. It's just like, no idea what I was getting into. I mean, I had an idea what I was getting into, but I mean, I didn't know what actually each individual release was going to be like. This one is by a band called Toss, and this is their self-titled LP on Crack out of Belgium, 2000. Their first LP out of only 2 records, or not records, but 2 releases that they have. Post-rock, it said there, and the first track is kind of post-rocky, and then it gets a bit drony. I didn't get around to side 2 as of yet. So yeah, pretty cool. And this is actually one of those kind of not self-released, it was on, what did I say, it was on Crack Records, but it's one of these kind of like, half-folded covers. Excuse me. This one I really enjoyed. This is Blowhole Free Metal from 1994, and I believe they could be out of the US, and I think from memory they've got quite a lot of music out. This is a trio on this record. On Zabrowski Point Records out of Colorado Springs. Free Metal is the name of it, and that is kind of a good description of the music, and it is chaotic guitar, drums, bass in a jazzy kind of way. Really got a real John Zorn vibe to it, actually, so pretty sort of free-forming. Yeah, quite interesting. Very long sides of that record. So played that one twice actually, and I have really, really cool. Now this one here, I did have a listen to this at lunchtime today while I was having my lunch. What's it called? Temple of Bon Maten. Thunder Feedback Confusion. Is that what it's called? Thunder Feedback Confusion. Yes, okay. This is kind of psych, lo-fi, psych rock. This is quite rocky. There might have even been vocals on this, I can't remember. I think they are from the US. This was recorded in 92, 93 and came out in 95. And that's about all I can tell you. Yeah, sort of scuzzy lo-fi rock, experimental rock, pretty cool. And the last two, I haven't listened to this one at all as of yet. What have we got here? A warm palindrome. It's an untitled LP out of the UK. Discogs described it as experimental avant-garde. They only had 2 releases listed on Discogs, this being the second of them. Bentley Welcomes Careful Drivers is the name of the record label. I had a quick look at that on Discogs. They've got quite a lot of releases out, well over 100. But it's all kind of still quite handmade. I mean, this is just a piece stuck on the cardboard, and same on the back, which, you know, we get a bit of that over here in New Zealand as well. Yeah, this is out of England. Can't tell you anything about the music just yet because I haven't had listened to it. So yeah, a warm palindrome. Sounds pretty cool. This one here, I like the name of this one. Hum of the Druid is the name of the band. Norse Fumigation is the name of the record. I didn't make any notes on this one. This is actually up on Bandcamp, so I'd had a quick listen to a part of the start of this before I bought it, before I bought this whole lot. This is just, yeah, real drony from about 2007, but I don't know where they come from. Is it self-released? It looks like it might be. No, maybe not. Kalamazoo, recorded in 2007 and to early 2009. Yeah. So 2 tracks, one each side. A Transcendental Criminal Behaviour on side A and the Norse Fumigation on side B. Yeah, so Hum of the Druid. Yeah, it's out of the USA by the looks of it. So, and like I say, from what my memory of this one was just pretty much a straight drone record. So, yeah, so there's that lot. And then finally, the last one, I'll just reach over and grab it. Ooh. So this is the 5 LP set CD. Fearful's Burning, Once We All Walk Through Solid Objects. So it says here, source drones by Fearful's Burning performed real time throughout 2006. So each track is Fearful's Burning verse someone else, like verse Bass Communion, verse Finale, verse Fry Band, and one in particular, verse Virtual Cat Motel. Now, Virtual Cat Motel is the New Zealand, and he is actually the guy that sold me these records. So there's 5 LPs here, so they do 1 verses each side. What did it say? Discogs said he was from Belgium. This is a limited edition of 500 from 2007. And yeah, it described it as ambient drone. Now, each record came in this plastic cover internally, which they were actually, this was sealed, this box was sealed. TF35, Fearful's Burning, so it's at the title of each of the record, and so I actually put the inner sleeves in here just because they were actually sticking to the inside of this plastic But they all are on this clear vinyl. So yeah, they're all 5 of them on the clear vinyl. So yeah, there we have it. That's a nice haul for very good money. I paid pretty much just over, well, if you conclude postage, just over $10 each for those records. Yeah, so, you know, that's pretty cool. And anyway, so the guy that's selling them had another sale come up. He listed another lot of 20 records on Trade Me for the same price. Well, you know, it's an auction site, so he listed them at the same starting price. And I had a look through the list. There are 4 or 5 New Zealand records in the list this time. 2 or 3 of them I already have, but a couple of them I don't. But by him, as they're actually his own records. And there was a bunch of other stuff, some really interesting looking stuff. Some I had a little check up online. A lot I still don't, and most of them I don't know. Although there were a couple. This had a couple more names I actually did know. Anyway, I won that auction today for the same price, so no one else bid on it. So I've got another 20 records coming next week. So I will be doing another video once I get familiar a little bit of what they are. My wife will not be happy. Won't be able to play this sort of stuff when she's around, but yeah, just more weirdness in my record collection. So that was really exciting to get that, and I've really been enjoying experimenting with this music and listening to it over the last 2 days, and looking forward to getting this next box set tomorrow, and it should be here tomorrow. I've got some New Zealand stuff coming in the same vein, you know, drony. Oh, actually there was one punky one, I think. Unfortunately, one seller bloody cancelled the order on me. The bugger, he was moving. He said he was moving his shop or something. So all his records got boxed up, and now he says, "Oh, I can't get them out because the shop's not finished, and I can't unpack everything." And I don't know. So he cancelled the bloody order, which was a real bum. One of those was a punky record from the old days, which I'm really disappointed about that. So anyway, yeah. So there'll be another 6 of those arriving tomorrow, and waiting on a few back orders and pre-orders and stuff like that. So. Yep, that's me. I shall let you go and get back to your day. Thanks for watching. See you again.